pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we're changing things a little bit too. The first meeting of the month is we're going to set the agenda and do everything. The second meeting of the month is we're going to be doing most of our voting. That will give everybody a time to know what we're talking about, gather your questions, gather your information, come back to the second meeting and ask questions before we vote. Okay? We think that's a little fairer way to do it. Okay?
Except for the invoices, right? Still will get us quite each meeting.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to vote on the invoices every 2 weeks. Correct. Okay. We had an executive session before this. It was about legal and personnel. Okay. Public comments on agenda items only. Yeah.
As the treasurer.
Yeah, go ahead.
Item number, I'd like to talk a little bit about, there's so many.
That's why we didn't want to cancel it.
Yes, good idea. The neighborhood fund,
Yes.
I would like the council to vote on that, because it's a new opened account. We discussed it in January, and then I went over the minutes, and it was never voted on. I did put my signature on it, to sign for the neighborhood fund, but I thought it would be great for the council to be aware of it as well.
Okay.
I just think that would be, I would like that added to the next
Okay.
meeting, so we can all vote on that when we open up a new account for all the councilmen to look at that over as well.
Any other comments?
Kristen Vita, DuBois, regarding audits. Item number 12, 2022-23 audits. I know several meetings ago, Chris had handed over the 2022 audit for you to review. And I know that there was one finding that essentially says you don't have a full-time accountant on staff to prepare the financial statements. And I over the past several weeks, I've been thinking about that. I wanted to just not ask a question, but just, that was a finding of our audit. And my board did not find that acceptable. So what they did, and I'm recommending you to consider, is they separated out the work between the auditor and the accountant. And our auditor essentially did the accounting work. They came in at the end of every quarter for a day. They made the adjustments to make journal entries. They gave them to my administrative assistant, and she continued full-time doing her responsibilities. And then they prepared the financial statements to be audited by the auditor. So then that finding was eliminated from any future audits. So there is a way to do that without eliminating or replacing anyone's position, but it essentially, you have your auditor who is doing two jobs right now, and you can split that responsibility out and maybe have an accountant come in quarterly and reconcile things and make those journal entries for you. It's just a suggestion to eliminate that finding.
Thank you. Anybody else? We can't approve the minutes. Can't pay the bills. Mike, you're up. We have a donation from Domtar today, and actually it's going into the neighborhood fund. Mike, you want to come up? Sure. Can somebody take a picture?
Move behind or in front? Does it matter?
Right
Is it
over.
okay?
Never mind camera now. Watch. Yes. All right, so I'll be sure to
Get the other camera.
Very good. Mike? So, on behalf of DuBois, Domtar Converting, we're very thankful to be contributing to our community and donating $5,000 to the city for the purchase of trees.
It's going to be specifically for trees. And what's really nice is they're going to buy the trees and they're going to plant the trees. Okay, which is really, really nice. Mike, thank you very much. Hey, Mike, for every tree Domtar cuts down, how many do they plant?
Well, it's more of an industry
Okay.
response, but for every tree, there's 2 trees planted back.
That's what I
So there's
thought.
33.2 million trees planted every day.
Here you go. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks. DuBois Days. Sean here?
Yes. It's a little bit late, we're here.
Okay.
So we have gotten some of the logistics in place. As of this morning, we are able to receive funds for the first time. We've hired both a bookkeeper and a CPA firm, both based here in DuBois. Sedgwick's over on Beaver Drive is going to do the bookkeeping and the day-to-day. And over on Park Avenue, our accounting firm is going to take care of all of the end logistics, going to prepare reports at the end. The single bank, it's a brand new bank account, $0 balance this morning.
Sorry to hear that.
Nested over at Next Tier Bank on Liberty Boulevard. So folks can make donations. We will this week attach a GoFundMe for those in the community that want to donate to that. But we're here today on the agenda to have you folks consider the stipend that you'd always given in the past to the community days. Given that we're starting at 0, we need a little bit of overhead. We're already missing some bookings. Some of the food options and entertainment options have, found a new home. So, while the getting's good, we need to book some of these folks so that we can provide the 2 or possibly 3 days of entertainment. We're hoping to bolster activity in the park to make up for the lack of the parade this year. But all in all, we are chugging right along. We have our next in-person meeting regarding all this tomorrow. The committee will meet together tomorrow, and so we're well on our way. So whenever you folks have a chance to vote, we would hope that you would consider the regular stipend that you would get, and obviously we can put to good use a little more because just 1 or 2 expenses wipes that entire slate clean. So the entirety of the rest of our budget and what we would provide for entertainment will rely on what we can bring in as far as booths and the other small dollar amenities. So it's kind of like a 1-to-1 each time somebody gets a booth. That's how much goes into the entertainment budget. Of course, there's going to be more overhead and logistics than just that. So the more that we have to work with, the better.
Okay. Talk about what the city can do and what we can't do and what we want me to.
Let's address that next meeting.
Okay, we'll address that next meeting. We'll talk about it and address it next meeting. Okay. We can't do the forest management.
Just give you an update on that. On the forest management plan, based on the recommendation from the Canes last meeting, I will have a recommendation for you at the next meeting about the overstory removal and herbicide sprays. So I'll have those ready for you at the next meeting.
City pool?
City pool, I'll ask for a recommendation on setting rates. My recommendation at this point is going to be holding the 2023 rates, but we'll have a discussion on that at the next meeting. And then we're looking at also getting some more chairs,
Umbrellas, maybe.
some things for people to use over there. So we'll have a discussion about how we can get that done as well.
Consideration of council bills.
Yep. Wanted to have a discussion. There were 3 council bills at the end of 2023 that were not acted upon. Registration of residential rental units, the automobile repair facility, and mechanical amusement devices. So we'll have a discussion on if you guys want to proceed with any or all of those or none of those.
Could discuss those now too, if you want.
You sure can.
We can discuss those now if anybody wants to. We can't vote on them, but we can certainly discuss them. Anybody have an opinion on which ones you want to stay with?
I would like to see us somehow proceed further with them. I think we need to do a little bit more research with the bills. I'm not happy with the way they're worded, but I would like to see something in the future on the books with it.
All three?
Yes,
Okay.
all three.
Yeah, I think there's a purpose for all three.
Yep.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the rental one needs to be
Yes.
shaved down a little bit. I don't think it's a city's right to know who rents my house.
No.
You know, you don't know who lives in my house. Why should you know who lives in the house I rent? That's how I feel.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think we should. I don't see how we can inspect them all at the same time, but maybe we can inspect them when they change hands. When you get a new tenant, then we come in and inspect.
And we can look at the PA Municipal League,
Yep.
Yeah, we can look at other things and stuff like that.
what they recommend for the state.
Yeah. Anybody have any comments on any of the other ones?
For the amusement, I'd like to revisit the amount charged for the skill games.
Okay. Okay. And so you know what we're coming up with, so if you have questions,
Yeah, it's good things we
But
can
we're gonna
work
have
on for the next meeting, and then you guys can give us official direction at the next meeting.
yeah, no, we're gonna have a meeting next Monday because we need to pay bills, okay? And make some decisions, okay?
Can I make a comment?
You sure? Well, wait till the end. Wait till the end, okay? We'll get into the 2023 audits.
Yeah, this was just an update, because Mrs. Vida had asked about those. Those were approved, sent into the state agencies. So we've moved on. We did put out an RFP for auditors. We did not receive any responses to that. I have been in contact with a couple here late last week and early this week, so I should have a recommendation for you, hopefully at the next meeting, if not the first official meeting in March for the 2023 audit. But the 2022 audit has been finalized.
And those are on the website. The audit's on the website?
It's not up on the website yet, but it will be.
It will be.
Yep.
Okay? Look at it and ask any questions you'd like, okay? Compensation ordinance, we're gonna have to revisit that Monday,
Compensation ordinance, yep, discuss that on Monday.
okay? Sandy Township, Section 108 loan.
You skipped 14.
14 was the,
Oh, RFP for financial services.
Yep. Solicitors should give us an update on that at the next meeting. The Section 108 loan was the documents we had to co-sign for the sewer line project on Platte Road with Sandy Township. I believe Tom will have those available for us to approve and execute at the next meeting.
That was quick. Dedication of water lines, he's doing that too?
Dedication of water lines. At the end of 2023, we had 3 individuals request to dedicate water lines to the city of DuBois. One on Chestnut Avenue by Addison Funeral Home, Oklahoma Salem Road, and the new water line to the Finksler Fieldhouse. So we need to get
Tom will do those and we'll move on.
Tom's advice on how to move forward with those. Yep.
Okay, that was old business. New business, application for DCED fire study.
Yep, that was approved at the joint board. Because this is an actual grant study being done, each municipality has to take it back and get it approved. The application is in your packet, so we'll need approval to submit that application. It is a free study by DCED, but it does need to be approved by Sandy and by DuBois.
Yeah, and DCED, they're the ones that do the study.
They do the study.
Correct. Approval of amended consolidation agreement.
Yep, we
We'll
had,
do that.
that'll be Monday. It was voted on at the joint board last week. Update the work of the solicitor, update capital purchases more than $100,000 must be approved individually. This does not include any items that were approved in the current budget. What's that?
Okay.
But, so the joint board approved that, we'll both have to approve that amendment as well.
Police chief?
Yes. Sergeant McCleary?
Yes.
Sergeant McCleary's here with us tonight. He's acting chief right now for us. Just wanted to introduce him. He is on the day shift now, so he'll be here 5 days a week if you guys need anything. Just wanted to let you know Sean is here with us right now as the acting police chief.
Yeah, and as you know, Blaine Clark was put on paid administrative leave. Second reading of Council Bill 1981, Robinson Street parking.
Yep, we've been
We'll do
discussing
that.
this for a few weeks. This is just the final reading.
And the same thing with the to vacate Fairway Street.
Correct. Yep.
Would vote on that. Amend the industrial sewer use ordinance.
Yeah, we have an ordinance that governs what industries can discharge to our sewer system as part of our NPDES permit to operate the sewer plant. We're required to reevaluate that every 5 years. Jeff Garrigan and his firm have done that evaluation for us. The EPA has approved their analysis and asked that we, Sandy Township and Falls Creek, because we're all share the same sewer system, adopt an ordinance updating the limits that people can discharge into our system.
We have a recommendation for the redevelopment authority. We'll vote on next. Josh Benton on next week.
Yep.
Letter of interest for city committees and authorities.
Yeah, we do have several vacancies on our boards, committees, authorities. I thought it would be a good idea, following up on some of the comments we've had here from council and the public, to put out a RFP, if you want to use that, advertisement request on our website and let them know which boards we have openings in.
Yeah, and if you have an interest, send an email to info@DuBoisPA.gov, and it'd be on the website, and the positions that are available. And there may be a couple of committees that have been resting for a few years that we might open back up. So there's, if you have an interest in being on one of the committees, please let us know.
We'll list all the committees that are available.
Even if there's one that's full, if they
Yep.
want to submit interest, if something would come available.
Correct, we're gonna list all the committees, authorities, boards, whether they have vacancies or not, people can submit them in.
Okay,
If it's full, we'll hold your name.
thank you.
And they're for city residents only, except the library is a joint authority.
You would submit your request if you're in Sandy Township
To Sandy Township. Okay, public comments?
Anybody else?
No, go ahead.
What? I really didn't come here to discuss this. I mean, I'm just listening to your recommendations and your agenda here. And
Could we have your name and your
William
address?
Jones, DuBois, Chestnut Avenue across from your house. And I lost it here. The ordinances regarding rental properties and so forth, I guess you're going to address that. My curiosity is, when there was a pre-existing ordinance, what happens to them if they were improperly written or no longer valid? Does the city have to abandon said ordinance? And the one that I'm thinking about is about 15 years ago, the city passed an ordinance prohibiting people of more than one family living in a household, kind of trying to prevent people from having 2 or 3 not related persons living in a house. I remember this specifically had been passed, and it was like 5 years later that a house was bought on our street that by a realtor who then rented it out to drilling contractors. And a bus would show up every morning with the drilling crew, and those 6 guys would get off, and the 6 guys that spent the night would get on and leave. Now, we never had any problem with those fellas, But I always thought that that was a blatant misuse of this ordinance. So I'm just, my comment is, if you're visiting things like this, you're gonna, let's create another ordinance. Well, what about getting rid of the ordinances that don't do any good anymore? I mean, there's probably still an ordinance that you're not allowed to spit on the sidewalk from
$600
1922.
fine.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep that one.
I mean, if you understand my thought is, we've got too many laws, too many bills, too many things, too many people with their fingers in it. Why can't we pare things back? And specifically with the rental things, my previous job, I came across several houses in the city that are actually commercial ventures and should be considered high hazard based on the occupancy. And I'm not at liberty to say what those were, but I think anybody can imagine that the things that were going on in these houses would really require special attention in the case of an emergency. And perhaps your rental agreement should consider things like that. I mean, sure, we don't need to know who's renting your house, but does the city need to know what you're doing with the house if it's not just for residents? If it's for resident, I can't even describe it legally. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Debbie Meckling, Monroe Street, DuBois. I had two comments. I'd like to hear what the status is about, at the January 8th meeting, we heard that the council had to get a subpoena to access the city's financial records, and I was curious what the status was on that.
Okay.
And my second point was, I'm hopeful that there is an amendment in the works for fees being charged for the skill games and machines in our town. These businesses are popping up all over our city. The beauty school property was recently sold for $1 and will soon be housing another of these establishments. I would like to see an ordinance put in place to limit how many of these types of storefronts are in a block. I would welcome a discussion in this direction. Positive growth in our downtown area is something to be hopeful for in the near future. In my opinion, the number of skill games in our downtown appears to be in direct conflict with the efforts of the Downtown Revitalization Group to make our city more welcoming to residents and visitors. I have borrowed a quote from the Downtown DuBois Facebook page. Downtown is the heart and soul of any community. If you don't have a healthy downtown, you simply don't have a healthy town.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Nancy?
On that subject, I read in the paper the Falls Creek police were called, and there was a large amount of money in the skill game. And again, and you know what it was before. And but Sykesville is advertising an ordinance for skill games. And I've seen it in other newspapers where they are going for that. And we were trying to be, as a planning commission, we were trying to be proactive. And we wanted to send those to you for scrutiny. And some of the things that Becky Meckling is saying are very true. They should be looked at. But I don't want them just to be shoved in a drawer. And I'd like to revisit the occupancy permit that is in our ordinance. And I see it, and legally they'll have to tell me, but I see it as broader than it is being used here. I see that if a facility is being occupied, even in the same type of business, they still are new and they should have an occupancy permit. That's my opinion. And
Sure.
I think we have the right to do that. So anyhow, if you're going to revisit those, I think you're going in the right direction. And as far as knowing everybody who's living in a house, a contact is what you mean, what we meant. And that contact very often can be the person who's living in the house, or it can be the owner of the building. So there's leeway there. Nobody was looking to see how many people were living in the house, how many you had overnight, and whatever. But we could have something that could maybe prevent what the gentleman was saying about picking up and delivering. That's a different use than we really is traditional for single-family homes.
Okay, thank you.
Expanse.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Bobby, Piper Street, DuBois. As a mom, an aunt, a sister, and a citizen of this town, I think it was highly irresponsible of the city to not keep us informed of the situation that happened last week, of the abduction. We are a smaller town, we have to look out for each other, we have to be there for each other, we have to be our own activists. And online, it was a horror show. Was it 2 men, 3 men, 4 men? Were they this kind of ethnicity? Were they that? And there was no confirmation. It was just mass panic everywhere. Was it on this street? Did it happen? Did it not happen? It was the actual person that had to come out and say, this is what happened. When did it happen? You need to be informed. This did not happen before. It came out with a statement saying, this is what happened. We are out there on the streets. We are trying to figure out the situation. We need to be proactive. We need to keep the citizens of this city protected and being told what has happened. You don't have to give them nitty-gritty details so that it could, like prejudice a case or anything, but we have to keep the citizens informed. We are moms, we're dads, we're aunts, we're sisters. You have to keep us informed. And I think that's the most important thing.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Richard Phillips, on your rental agreement, several comments. I have rental properties in DuBois. I don't think I should invade your house and space. You have no right to invade mine, no matter who I have living there. Are you going to inspect the house for safety issues? Or are you going to tell me what color to paint it next? Keep a fine line. Don't overstep your boundaries. Even here in DuBois, the whole way up the government, you people are overstepping your boundaries for our freedom. So keep that in mind. Thank you.
Will do, thank you. Yes, go ahead.
Linda London, DuBois. I'm just requesting an update to the progress made in reference to a question asked 5 weeks ago with regards to health insurance that was provided to some current as well as past council members and mayor. The solicitor at that time was directed to look into the legality of those people reimbursing the city for insurance that was provided to them.
Thank you.
In the back.
Somebody else? Oh, yeah, okay, stand up, I'm sorry, didn't see you.
I'm Blaine from Piper Street. I would like to address the ordinance for when you own a rental property and then you rent it out, the water bill, if it's in the tenant's name or if it's in the owner's name.
Okay.
That's something that I would like to be addressed.
We'll answer that. Okay. Yes.
Hi, me again. I just want to comment that I do agree with Deb McLean regarding the actions that council took at the last meeting regarding the cosmetology building. But, the city has never been good with planning as a whole. We don't have a comprehensive plan for downtown. And I used to serve on planning commission. And the reality of it is, it's not a strong commission. We are too reactive in the city. The only time we would meet in planning was when something came to planning to act upon. We did not spend our time putting together a strong ordinances and strong comprehensive plans. And that's what we as a city need to do, so that when skill games chance businesses come in, we're not reacting. We already have a plan in place. And I would like to see the city work with a consultant to perhaps come together with the downtown, look at comprehensive plan, work with our planning commission, and really making it a robust commission. So just some food for thought.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, we're gonna.
One more.
Okay. Hi.
Yeah, it's been brought to my attention, and I just want to ask or say that I know that the board has been wanting to meet with the fire department and go to their different fire department meetings and see how it's ran and how things are done, which I think is wonderful as a whole. But when I find out that only 3 are invited and 2 are excluded, I think our transparency is not there and our unity and community is not there. So I would hope that everybody on that board, if you're going to do that, you make sure that everybody on the board is included, not just certain ones. Do the right thing.
I can answer that.
Yeah. Oh, we've never.
Is there anybody else?
I have one comment that you might like.
Go ahead.
Oh, this a somber note is the city lost a hero in Dr. John Clark. And I
Sure
really-
did.
And I really feel that some sort of recognition should be afforded his family in bereavement at the official meeting. I honestly don't even know what to say, but he was such a humanitarian and working with the Habitat for Humanity and yeah, he'll definitely be missed. Yeah, great man. Anybody else? Why don't you go ahead and answer that then? Okay, we're going to close the comments then.
Okay. So I just have a few
About the-
comments.
about
Yeah.
the fire.
So we were meeting just because we've never been to a fire department meeting. So there was no exclusion. There is transparency as much as we can be. I don't have anything to hide. I've just never been to the fire department before.
I'm perfectly fine with that, but I'm just saying
Well, they're already.
They should all go.
Oh,
Everybody
they're
should do it all
invited
together.
to.
Yeah.
They're smart.
They were invited. I mean, they were invited.
We're going to
you can
Friendship
write to them
tomorrow
by
night.
email.
Tomorrow night, we're going to Friendship after the meeting.
No.
I will not be there.
Yeah, but you guys can, anybody wants to come.
Yes.
That's wonderful. I think that's great.
Okay. Do you want to run through
Firemen need more credit than they get.
this? They sure do.
There's none that we should answer tonight.
Nothing?
Okay.
On the,
Council member comments?
So go ahead.
on the ordinances, that is part of the consolidation, to combine ordinances, to look at every ordinance and every code.
Correct.
So that questionnaire, addressing that, being looked at that way, is probably the best way of doing that. So, the township has ordinances and codes, and so does the city, and doing that jointly together. I know there's been a lot of work done on that already, and they'll continue that work as time evolves here through this process.
They'll all be going over. Okay. We're gonna get members, go around the room.
Lisa had something.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with the chief and mark my way. Chief, do you have any comments?
Just that there's a bunch of great men and women down at that police department. It's an honor for me to work with them and just to assure the community that they will be protecting and serving and be out there. Like I said, it's an honor to be part of those people because they're great people.
Well, thank you. It's nice to have you. I've met with him a couple times. He's doing a great job. Go ahead, Lisa.
Oh boy, it's that time of the year, everybody, taxes. So I'd like to talk on behalf of the Treasury Department. We wear lots of different faces in there, but it's tax season, which means county and city taxes will be arriving on Friday, March 1st. It's hard to believe it's March 1st. But I'd like to address that a little bit. Look for your bills in the mail. As homeowners, when you purchased your home, you have the responsibility to pay your taxes. This time, it's the spring, they call it, which is really the city taxes and the county taxes. We are here to help you if you have any questions or if you lose your bill, we'll come and see us. We'll take care of you. Remember, discount is, I believe, until May 1st, and then it goes to face, which is what you would normally pay, and then it goes into penalty. So it is city and county taxes. And so please, if you have any problems or questions, people do get property taxes confused with the IRS and their personal taxes. So, but we can help you. I just wanted to give everybody a little bit of notification that they're coming out on March 1st. So we will see you in there when you come visit me. Oh, and if you have escrow and you do not receive a bill, it's because it probably went to your bank and the bank will be paying your taxes. But always check on that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Dave?
I'm good right now.
Okay.
Good, thank you.
Okay.
I have some comments.
Go right ahead.
I know we've been getting a lot of pushback, maybe that as we ran on transparency, that we're not being transparent. And I, for one, have nothing to hide with what we are doing or how we're doing it. It's just been a very big learning process because there's been a lot to go through. It isn't just the fact of harm per se. There was a lot more that we are finding each week. There's something new, literally. And so if we don't get back to you or things haven't been done right away, we're handling a lot. We're trying to learn everything. And I will address, I'm not sure what your name was, but I will find it hard for myself to work with two members of council that were involved in a lot of this for a lot of years. And for me, it's a hard pill to swallow. So to be overly friendly with two councilmen that have approved all of these bonuses for years, it's hard for me to swallow. So maybe I am not as outgoing with two councilmen as you would like to see. But to be honest, it's pretty hard for me to work with somebody that has helped create the mess that we're in right now. And it isn't a simple thing to clean up. It is a lot of work. I know I read hours worth of paperwork every week. If you don't like how we're doing it, please let me know a different way to do it. I know the fire department is thinking that we're doing things wrong. I know because things were done a certain way for a long time, they think that's the right way. And unfortunately, we're learning, as our solicitor tells us, because it was done that way doesn't mean it was right. So it's just correcting all of these things as a city we have to correct. It's not fair to us to go through consolidation and put this on Sandy Township's lap. So we are diligently working with so many issues, and I am trying to work with Jim and Shane. I said hello to them tonight and spoke to them a little bit. I'll be honest, for me, it's a big step.
I understand that. But
So-
I know this was the step that you chose to take.
Oh, I know.
On.
Yes.
And unfortunately,
Discussions.
you are all to work together.
Yeah.
It can't be divided.
Not a discussion session.
You've got to put your feelings
Hey,
aside.
you had a chance for comments, okay?
Don't be rude.
I'm not being rude. You had a chance for
are.
comments. It's not a back and forth.
Yeah, this is a big work in progress, and if you have something that you would like to see us do, please let me know. Everyone, I have people come see me every day at my work. So if there's something you'd like to see us address, we're trying. We literally have stacks of papers that we are going through. Chris works so hard, Pat does, and we're trying right now to do this, and so is Jim and Shane. That's it.
Yeah, bear with us. I mean, two people here have been here for they've been here for 8 weeks. I've been mayor for 8 weeks. I hate to admit this, but there's a lot I don't know. And we will make mistakes, we will admit them, and we will do better, okay? Chris?
I don't have anything.
Elliot?
If you have concerns about anything, want something to be worked on, please reach out to me. My email's on the website. I'm on Facebook. I have a councilman page that you can message me at, or my regular page. Feel free to message me, and I'm happy to get back to you as soon as possible and research your issues and get back to you. Make sure the city knows about it and is trying to take care of it for you.
Jane?
Thank you, Sergeant McCleary, for the extra work that you're doing right now. Thank you, Mike and Dom Tar, for your donation. And look forward to seeing everyone next Monday.
I have one other comment. The bonuses, I don't believe they were ever voted on at council.
Okay.
I think the past mayor approved them after getting, something handed to him. So I think that's how it was done. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Can't do it.
See you, everybody.
Bye.
Meeting next Monday?
Yes.
Yeah, meeting next Monday, 6 o'clock.
It'll be advertised.
You're gonna cater it. It'll be advertised.
If we do that proclamation,